Welcome back to Big Huge Mold Day. So this is a 10.5 inch round tray mold that I was very generously gifted by an anonymous critter from my Amazon wish list. So to whomever sent me the gifts that were in that package, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is very unnecessary, but very, very much appreciated. So we're making something. I would pick this up and show you the mold, but I can't. Why, you ask? Because there are currently 7 ounces of clear resin in it. I spared you the pouring of the clear resin because it was quite dull. But now that it's not dull anymore, I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So, what I have here are pieces of wood veneer that I have cut up. This is walnut veneer. If you're curious as to what it looks like before I go hacking away at it, it comes in these 12 by 12 inch sheets. And again, I got this, this is by Cricut. It's very thin. It's made for people to cut it up and use it in crickety things. I do not have a Cricut. I do not use crickety things, but I do use the veneer. Now, I plan on playing in resin, therefore, I'm going into Kermit mode. These are awesome gloves. I do like using them when I have to. You guys know, you don't see me wearing gloves very often, but I do it. So there you go. Now over here, I have 6 ounces of my Bond Crafter 1-to-1 that I have added about 1/8 of a teaspoon of Let's Resin dark blue mica powder. And I have run it through my doodah thingy. You know what I'm trying to say. Bubble remover, yeah. Now, the resin in the tray is tacky. It's not like super sticky, but it is tacky. So I'm going to be putting these veneer pieces in my tray. But, and here is the playing with resin part. Since this is wood, actual real wood, it is very porous. So what I'm going to do is I am going to coat it a little bit with some resin just to try to keep it from bubbling up too much when I put it down into the project, right? So now that that is on there, yes, push up my glasses. And I'm just gonna, find a place. And since the clear resin is still sticky, it should lend to holding the wood pieces in place pretty well. So next we're gonna do this little guy. Just gonna dunk him in there. I was about to say I was going to moisten my wood, but I think that might be misconstrued. I just said it anyway, but still, get my point. This one does have a little eyeball. And I'm not worried about getting it straight up against the edge of the tray. I mean, if I do, great. If I don't, okay. Not real worried about it. Like I said, going for natural, not perfect. Because we all know nothing in nature is perfect. And that is perfectly perfect in its imperfect way, isn't it? All right, so now that I have played in resin for long enough, the goal is to get my gloves off while they're both so slimy. Tuck it into a little glove ball. Everything messy's on the inside, then I chuck it in the bucket. Normally I add another word in there, but I'd like to stay monetized. So, you know what? Before I put this in, Huh. Pivot. Here's my bucket of pea gravel. So we're going to use the bucket of pea gravel. A couple of strays in there. Now that I've done that, I'm going to pour this blue resin, again, which has been run through the Bubble Monster. And we're just going to go in, start covering stuff up. All right, so there's that. So I am going to try to go in and cover the majority of our rocky bits. Okay, so just a quick little next step here. What I have is about 1 ounce of my Bone Crafter 1-to-1, and I have added some, again, the Let's Resin Dark Blue mic powder. And you can see it is significantly stronger than the last time I used it. And what I'm going to do is I just want to deepen the color in some of the areas, obviously. All right. See you later. All right. So it is time for the last coat on the back. And I figured I'd show you the colors. So again, this is the Let's Resin Dark Blue that I've been using throughout. And then in this layer, I am also using my Let's Resin Intense Chameleon powder in blue. YouTube hand. There you go. So that's what I'm doing. I have 4 ounces mixed up here that I have been letting sit and degas because frankly I didn't feel like dragging out my bubble remover again. So all total, resin-wise, in this tray, we have 6 ounces, or excuse me, 7 ounces for the first layer, 7 ounces for the second layer, and 4 ounces for this last one. So that is, if you work backwards, 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 7 is 17. So 17 ounces. So here we are. Now, I have a feeling that one of these, at least, is going to have an air bubble underneath the veneer. But we'll see. We'll see. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Anyway, let's demold it. Gotta get a hold of the edge here. There it goes. See how we did here. Very easy to demold. I like the rigidity, the substantial ness of this mold. Now I can show it to you. Ooh, it's got the ribbing, you know, the rings around it, so it's very stable, so it doesn't dip. Excuse me. It's got a good lip. It's not thin, but it's not super thick, so it's very flexible. It's good. It's a good mold. I like it a lot. I'm very pleased with it so far. Excuse me. And I've got a little bit of trimming to do around the edge, just from, you know, where the resin came a little bit proud I'm nervous. Are you nervous? I'm nervous. Nervous. All right, let's do this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we got a couple. We got a couple of bubbles under the veneer, but that's okay. It's okay. We can fix it. We can fix this. We can $6 million man the heck out of this. So don't look at that or that or that. We fix it. We have a couple of options, but other than that, look at the colors of the blue and the rocks and everything. Oh gosh, that just turned out really cool. I like that a lot. Now, it's super pretty. I dig it. So it looks like the clear layer is pretty substantial. So I have about, oh, let's measure it. Let's not guess. Get out the old tape measure. That's right. What end is that? That's the wrong end. So I've got about 1/4 of an inch, or you know, a little less than a centimeter of rim here. So here's what I want to do. I was debating on if the clear on the top was thin enough of a layer that I could just drill a teeny tiny, it's a new term, heard it here first, a tiny little hole in there and then just, squirt in some CA glue. But I don't think that I want to do that. I think what I want to do is go in with some fake moss, and just not all over the place. I think that would be a bit much, but just thinness, sprinkle it. Let me give you a visual demonstration. Just take some and just do, and cover the majority of the bubbles, maybe like that. Or is there too many, you think? Like if we did something like that? No? I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know. How do we do this? We're busting out the pea gravel again. So I just kind of want to see. I just want to see. Don't yell at me yet. Don't yell at me. Don't do it. Be nice. Wile E. Coyote, genius at work here. We're going to give it some dimension. Yep. That's what we're going to do. Multi-dimensional trays. Now my idea here is to put in our camouflage. I'm going to take some UV resin and I'm just going to go thin. Not big, huge, just enough to seal that down, just to get it down. And I'm going to cure it. Okay, I'm good with that. Like it. Like it. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. Poke it down a little bit though. Do the same thing with this little guy. Let's go around and let the UV sort of do its thing. UV resin covers a multitude of sins. Seriously. I think this is going to end up being a bit of a pivot, but pretty stinking cool nonetheless. So, yeah, I think so. Dimension, people. You have to think in multiple dimensions. At least I do. That part is down. So let's do this one. And this time, don't touch the moss with the tip of your bottle. Top tip. Don't do it. Never said I was the sharpest tool in the shed, folks. I just said I was in the shed. Actually, I may be shed adjacent. Not completely in it. 3 ounces of Bond Crafter 1-to-1 that I have admittedly beat the hell out of. But I'm not really worried about it. So yeah, there's bubbles. Look, it's a whole herd of them. It's a bubble herd. So what I'm going to do, as you can probably guess, is right. And through the magic of editing, you guys did not have to sit there and watch me scooch 3 ounces of resin around. So here we go. And yes, there are still pieces that are proud of the surface. But, like we said, dimension, texture. I'm going to spray with some alcohol just to break some of that surface tension and help with some bubbles. And now, I also want to address something in the realm of bubble removal. I've had some people ask me, well, why don't you use a heat gun to remove bubbles? Well, here's why. Heat guns move air rapidly, of course. That's the point. But what happens is if you have any dust or crud or whatever in the air, what that heat gun will do is suck that air in and blow that dust and crud that's in the air into your project at a very rapid velocity. And frankly, I really don't want that stuff in the top of my project. I don't want that in the finish. So that's why I rarely, excuse me, unless I absolutely have to, rarely use a heat gun. I will use 99% alcohol. I will use my tiny torch. Depending on what is in the resin, will determine which one I use. There's floaty bits of moss in here, so I don't want to use tiny torch because I don't want to light anything on fire, frankly. So at any rate, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cure. And yeah, so I might add something else. Who knows? You never know. With me, do you? Nope. At any rate, yeah. So I'll see you soon. So you want to see what I did? You saw the grass. You saw the rocks. But you didn't see the fish or the flowers. So I added some little koi fish. I added some little flowers floating around. So what went from an almost failed project has turned into a cute little koi pond tray. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Did I fix it or did I mess it up? And it is still a functional tray. This entire area in here is still very usable. You can put things on it. It's flat. It's, you know, everything's covered. There's no texture to it. So, yeah. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I do hope to see you again on the next one. Take care, guys. Cheers.